There comes a time in life when everything around you begins to change, but the people around you stay the same. They still see the older version of you, the version that was scared, quiet, unsure, or broken. They don't see how deeply you've been healing in silence, how much your heart has learned, and how much your spirit has grown stronger with every single heartbreak. Sometimes, people don't believe in your transformation because they never saw your tears. They never saw the moments when you were alone, talking to God, asking Him why everything was falling apart. They didn't see the prayers that came from your pain, or the nights you spent trying to hold yourself together when nothing made sense. They only saw the smile you forced, the polite replies you gave, the strength you pretended to have. And that's why, when you finally rose again, they were shocked. They couldn't understand how the same person who once struggled to even breathe through the weight of life was now walking with confidence, peace, and a glow that didn't need validation. Your friends were shocked by you because they were used to seeing you broken. They had grown comfortable with your silence, your softness, your giving nature. You were the one who always listened, always helped, always showed up for everyone, even when no one showed up for you. You carried pain quietly because you didn't want anyone to feel burdened by your sadness. You smiled even when you were tired. You gave even when you had little. And you kept faith even when everything felt hopeless. But one day, something shifted inside you. You reached a point where your soul whispered, "Enough. Enough of waiting for people to understand you. Enough of living small just to make others comfortable. Enough of giving all your energy to people who never valued it." You started realizing that healing wasn't about pretending to be strong. It was about learning to be real. And being real meant standing up for yourself, protecting your peace, and allowing yourself to grow, even if others didn't like it. When that shift happened, the world around you didn't know how to handle it. People who once doubted you started feeling uncomfortable, not because you did something wrong, but because your growth reminded them of everything they were still avoiding in their own lives. They saw you walking away from drama, setting boundaries, choosing peace, and they were shocked. Because the same person who used to chase approval now walked away quietly when disrespected. You began to understand that peace is not found in other people. It's something you build inside yourself. You learn to pray, not only for blessings, but also for strength. You learn to forgive, not because others deserved it, but because you deserved freedom. You learned that the same people who hurt you were actually your teachers, sent to push you closer to your purpose. And as you changed, your friends noticed. The things that used to break you no longer did. The words that once cut deep now passed by like air. The situations that once made you cry now taught you lessons. And that's what shocked them most. Not your success, not your glow, but your peace. Because peace is powerful. Peace is silent. Peace confuses people who live in chaos. You see, sometimes your transformation is not loud, it's quiet. It happens in small decisions, choosing not to argue, choosing to walk away, choosing to stay calm, choosing to focus on what matters. And over time, those small choices build a version of you that is unshakable. You stop chasing love because you realized the right love never has to be chased. You stop trying to prove your worth because you realized you were already enough. You stopped begging people to stay because the ones meant for you will never leave. And when you started living with that kind of peace, the same friends who once felt sorry for you began to respect you. They started seeing your strength, the quiet power in your calm, the confidence in your silence. Some of them couldn't handle it because your growth made them reflect on their own stagnation. Some drifted away, not because you did something wrong, but because your energy no longer matched theirs. And that's okay, because growth often means outgrowing. Your story isn't just about pain. It's about transformation. It's about learning that everything that left you was never meant to stay. It's about realizing that God removes certain people, not to hurt you, but to prepare you for what's ahead. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every loss had a purpose: to wake you up, to strengthen your soul, to make you finally see your worth. The moment you stopped trying to prove yourself, your peace became your answer. You didn't need to post your pain or explain your silence. You simply lived, healed, and grew. And that quiet transformation spoke louder than words. The same people who once underestimated you began to whisper your name with admiration. They were shocked, not because you became someone new, but because you became who you were always meant to be. Sometimes God hides you during your healing season. He lets people walk away, lets them misunderstand you, because He knows they're not meant to witness your rebuilding. They're not meant to be part of your glow-up story. When the time is right, He reveals you again, not broken, not bitter, but beautifully rebuilt. And when that moment comes, people are left in awe, because your peace shines differently when it's built through pain. Your friends were shocked because you turned your wounds into wisdom. You turned your loneliness into power. You turned your heartbreak into purpose. You stopped being the victim and became the survivor. You stopped waiting for someone to save you and realized that the strength you were praying for was already inside you. And that's the message you carry now. That no matter what people say, no matter who doubts you, no matter who walks away, you can always rebuild. You can always rise. You can always begin again. Because your story isn't over just because one chapter was painful. Sometimes the most painful chapters lead to the most powerful endings. Your healing shocked them because it was real. You didn't pretend to be okay. You worked on being okay. You didn't fake confidence. You built it. You didn't become cold. You became wise. You learned that love isn't about holding on to what hurts, but letting go of what doesn't serve your peace. And now you live differently. You wake up each day with gratitude instead of resentment. You speak kindly even to those who weren't kind to you. Not because you're weak, but because you've learned that peace isn't revenge. Peace is power. You smile more, you worry less, and you trust that everything is happening for your growth. Some of your old friends still talk about who you used to be. They say you've changed, and they're right. You did. You changed because you refused to stay the same after everything you've been through. You changed because you realized that you deserve more, You changed because you decided to love yourself the way you always loved others. And that's what shocks people most, when you finally choose yourself. Because for so long, they were used to you putting everyone else first. But now, your peace matters. Your energy matters. Your happiness matters. And the more you value yourself, the more you attract people who value you too. You see, the journey isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always enough, even when others couldn't see it. It's about finding that quiet strength inside you and letting it guide your path. It's about trusting that the same pain that broke you is the same pain that built you. So yes, your friends were shocked. But maybe they needed to be. Maybe they needed to see what real growth looks like. Maybe your transformation will inspire them to heal too. Maybe your story will remind someone that it's never too late to change. Because one day, someone will look at you and say, "You're glowing differently," and you'll smile quietly, knowing that glow came from the peace you fought so hard to find. Life is not about being the same person forever. It's about evolving, learning, forgiving, and growing. It's about walking with faith, even when the path feels uncertain. It's about knowing that even when people don't believe in you, God does. And maybe that's why your story had to happen the way it did. So that one day, when others lose hope, they can look at you and say, "If they could rise after all that, maybe I can too." Because that's your real purpose, not just to heal for yourself, but to be a light for others. To show that no matter how dark it gets, the light inside you can never be taken away. So keep shining, keep growing, keep walking with peace. Let them be shocked, because your story is still being written. And the best part is yet to come. And when they ask how you did it, just smile and say, "I stopped trying to be understood and started being real." That's where the transformation began. That's where your new life started. That's where you became you again.